Okay, I had water. I got water in this one, about half a tank full, and as you can see, nothing is coming out of here. No wet spots, nothing. So this one is, leaks are gone. I need to put some more water in this one and check. But this one, I don't know that it was really leaking in the first place, but I'm getting out of the sun because it is hot as firecrackers going off in hell right now. And I mean, I just got home and I realized over the weekend I worked, you know, so I couldn't do anything on the boat. I got out a little bit earlier than my normal time today so I could come home. Actually, I got off at my normal time so I could come home and work on this. And I'm gonna need to dump that gas tank, and what I gotta do is the cinders for the gas gauge, the sending units, they're not in the right spot. You see how it comes down on a slant? Well, that sender hits on that slant, and I think it's binding them up. I kind of wondered if that might be the problem. It is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them back behind that where the baffle is and put them in the middle of the tank, and that'll be fine to do that. I'm just going to have to patch the area where they're at. Another thing, but I'll get it done. Alright, y'all. Later. Alright, y'all. I put the cinder in right here. Boy, I almost hit another baffle. There's two baffles in there, and I almost hit another one, but I know to go a little bit more on the next one to the closer in the middle. Right about here. But that'll be fine. Yeah, where it's at, it's fine. I know it is. And now I just sanded that down, and I made a patch with some aluminum that I had around here, and I'm gonna acetone that hole right there, acetone this, clean it off real good. I'm gonna put some JB weld around there, then I'm gonna put this on there and screw it down like using the JB weld as a gasket around it, kind of to weld this to it. So hopefully that works. I think it will. It'll be just fine. Alright, y'all. Shoot, I don't even know if I have to put the screws in there. That stuff sucked right on down. Went into place. I'll put them in, but I'm going to let that JB weld cure for a while before I do that. That came out pretty nice. Okay. So y'all, I'm getting ready to start working on my boat again. But I got to deal with this truck issue first. I'm having a little bit, not a big overheating problem, but it's getting a little hotter than what I'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and change the thermostat. I got to change the PCV valve, which is underneath that shroud, and I got to change the air filter. I can tell the PCV valve needs to be changed because whenever you see oil on your air filter, see how there's got oil on that air filter? That's generally a sign that the PCV valve's going bad. So I'm going to change all of that out. I'm going to do that real quick right now, and then I'm going to change that thermostat out after. Let it cool down a bit. Then I'm heading to the boat to put the gas tanks back in. Yeehaw. Okay, so I finished that job fast, replacing the thermostat and the PCV valve and the air filter in my truck, but then my dumb ass went and took forever to figure something else out. It was the reservoir that holds the coolant. But anyway, I got that straightened up. I hope I got it straightened up now. But anyway, you can see how a long time ago I sprayed a grease spray. It was Corrosion X protective, and it really protected this motor well. I mean, that's a good film on there, protected the metal parts and everything, the electronics even. And I wanted to show y'all, this is the VST tank, the vapor separator tank, where the gas comes in, and it comes in here and it's vaporized before it goes into the injectors over here. And I think this is where, yeah, you'd have to take this off to get to that on each side. I believe, yeah, that's how they get, man. difference dealing with the 6s. Anyway, if you turn this screw right here, you can bleed the vapor separator chamber out, and the gas will come out of here. And that's what I did. I bled the old nasty gas out of there, and this goes right back into this little holder here. It should have been enough before. Alright, there we go. See that? So that goes in there. Like that. Like so. Alright. So that's the VST chamber. I never showed that. I thought I showed it. I just talked about it. I never showed it. But you can drain it by unscrewing this, and it just drains it out. And nasties will come out of there if there's any in there. So that's what I did. And I actually pumped the gas through there to force it out of there. So now we should have nothing but good gas coming in after I put the gas tanks back in. Alright, so this is the second inaugural run. Everything seems to be working. Had it running for about 5 minutes already. Got the tank back in. Tomorrow I will take it out on the water. For sure. Yeehaw. It is purring like a kid. Huh. Ooh, what a good end to the day. All right. Okay, I got it launched, y'all. Alright, y'all, got it launched. Alright, y'all. Well, the first thing is to hope it starts. This wind is blowing way harder now than earlier. Alrighty. Yeah. Alright, started. There's the peel. Alright. Alright, in gear and underway. For the first time in 6 years. I don't really want to go too far. I just want to idle around a little while. Maybe go down the river, get into a little bit calmer fares. She's moving. Try and get up on it a little bit. All right, pretty good. That rattling that's from that door. I gotta get a strap to strap that down. Got a no wake zone coming up here. Sailboat's gonna make them raise that drawbridge at rush hour. What a butthead. Lots of marine stuff around here. Someone coming out right there. They got a nice little restaurant over there. It's not nice, it's alright. Called Morton. Yeah, oysters are alright, but way too high price. I quit going there. They got a lot better oysters for a lot cheaper at other areas. Hello? Hey! And my boat is running great. Scared the daylights out of me. I hit something in the water and boy, it scared me the daylights, but it's alright. I was going real slow, so but it's running, man. I just opened it up a few times and I'm in the Trinidad River right now by all the rich houses. Alright y'all, this is gonna be the final thing I do with this video set at part 3. I got some video of being out on the boat yesterday, so I did what I said I was going to do, get a boat back out on the water. It ran like a champ, ran beautifully. I don't know if I have it on video, and if I do it might be hard to see what's going on, but I did hit something. I got outside the channel marker and I didn't realize I was outside of it by much. Boy, I hit something. I was really idling very slowly, and boy, it dead stopped, and I went past it. And I was like, what was that? And then boom, I hit it again and shut the motor down. I was like, oh God. But it was real slow. I was barely idling. Oh, gave me a heart attack. Trimmed it up, got out of Dodge. I got out in the river. I opened her up. I let her blow her ears out there though. But man, it was nice being back on the water after so long. I just love being on a boat. And I tell you though, I had a little anxiousness, a little anxiety about it because it's been so long. I was like, man, I wasn't on my A game all the time. I did trailer it perfect. It was all right, and I was kind of worried about the trailer because it's been a while, but it held up fine. Everything did good. Except for the trailer lights, I got to work on that a little bit. The last two things I'm getting ready to do, I'm going to put a new plug on the front of the trailer. I guess from, I don't know, it just, the wires are dry rotted on the front. So I'm going to just put a new plug on. I got one, I'm going to hook that up. Hopefully they work better. I only had one trailer light working yesterday, and the blinkers were working. And I think the brake, but the running lights didn't work. I don't know. I got to figure it out. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. I had just put these lights on when I put it up before. And the other thing, I'm going to spray it with a little more aluminum bright, try and make it a little bit more pretty. If you look at her, she's pretty compared to what she was in the beginning, y'all. I mean, she is a beaut. I mean, that just looks really good compared to what she looked like. If y'all go back in the first one and look, I still got a few little stains coming down right here on a little streaking. I'm gonna try and get rid of some of that, and then I'm gonna pack this away for a while, and because I've been for 3 weeks I've been neglecting all my other duties around the house to do my chores. I gotta clean up around here. So I'm gonna go park her on the way her spot is in the barn now. It'll be a good place for her to be, nice and protected. Ooh, someone got him a nice new trailer. Nice new tractor. Dang, that's a beauty. Ooh, brand new too. Nice. Some Mahindra. That's a good little tractor. Beautiful. Anyway, I shouldn't be ever sitting there staring at a brand new tractor like diamonds or something for women. Tractor, shiny brand new tractors and boats for men. But I'm gonna have some work done. I'm gonna get some aluminum work done on this boat and kind of make it what I always wanted it to be. Put a trolling motor on it, put some sonar. I still got some stuff to do, but it's gonna get done. I think I'm going to do the aluminum work first because it's going to put a canopy over my head, and I got a design I really want to put. The backdrop of this boat, I said I would do that in the first video, and I never did it. The backstory for this boat. Man, when I was younger, I wanted a boat. I had a flatboat, a little 14-foot flatboat. I might show some pictures of it. I love that boat. I was the stupidest person in the world to sell that boat. I should have kept it because it really is a dual. You really, for what I do in the woods, you really in the swamps, you really need a boat that size to get back there and crawfish like I like to do. And it was the perfect boat for getting way back into the swamp. And I sold it when we were just figuring out our lives in our other house. I guess the money I really needed it, but it would have been. I didn't make enough money on that deal to even warrant selling it. So I should have kept that flatboat. But once I got rid of it, I knew I wanted another boat. So I kept on the lookout. And I really wanted, it was either a Scully's or a Hanko's. And that's the two, back then that was the two big manufacturers of aluminum, airplane grade aluminum boats. They use the airplane aluminum for this to make this. It's really strong and heavy. People think aluminum boats are light. This boat is light on the water and it can get way back in the marsh. But when you're out in the rough chop, you trim down and man, it will plow into those chops, and it's got a good, you can handle a good heavy chop with this. So I've been out in some really rough conditions. So other than that, I was looking, and I knew I couldn't buy a new one. I didn't really price them, but I knew it was out of my range. So what I did is I kept looking in the classified, and probably a year, 2 years, I looked steadily every day. And they had some come available, but all the ones that came available secondhand were in the 30,000s or more. And back then, shoot, that was 15 years ago or more. I don't know. I don't exactly. 2007, 8, 9, probably 2006, 7, 8, 9. Around that time was when I was looking, I believe. And you just couldn't find boats. It used to be a boat was about $1,000 a foot. And that was brand new almost, most of the time. But these boats commanded a much larger price back then. And even now they command a pretty fair price. This boat right here, I couldn't afford to buy it today. Even in just like it is, there's no way for what I've seen them asking for these hulls. Okay, the backdrop is I found this on a local Louisiana Sportsman's classified website, and the guy was asking $10,000, and it had an Evinrude Ficht on the back of it, a 225. And anybody that knows anything about outboards knows that an Evinrude Ficht was the worst motor ever created by man or aliens. And it just spans the universe. It was the worst motor ever. They were known to blow up, literally blow up. And man, that thing would give me fits. I had it running. I ran it. I did. I went fishing. Man, we went way I could. I can't believe where I went with that boat, with that motor on it. I had problems with the gas the whole time. Now I know why, because the gas tanks were filled with crap. Well, the guy who I bought it from, I asked him, I said, well, where'd you get it? He goes, I bought it from some guys that were doing surveying for the state. So it was a state-owned boat, I believe, at one time. But they were doing surveying in the marshes for the state, and they quit using it, and they had just put it up on a bunch of barrels. And it was on barrels, and he said he stopped by and asked them if they'd sell it to him, and they said, yeah, sure. So he bought it and kept it, but this old boy looked like he was on his last leg when I met him after I answered his ad. And we went out and rode in it, and he told me, man, that motor had some issues, but it ran, and it ran. So I got a few trips out of it with that motor, but I was always worried about it. So I bought it, and the old boy was asking $10,000 for it. You cannot beat that deal. That was unbelievable deal. So anyway, but the only thing is, some idiot decided to put 5 or 6 sacks of cement in the front because they were using that as a ballast to hold the front end down, because it will porpoise. But the trim tabs of what you use to take care of porpoising in boats. Anyway, they just used it so that it would have a smoother ride and keep that bow way down. And there's other ways to do that. But anyway, I had to chip out all that cement. That was a nightmare. But I got it all out, and then I was going to bring the motor in, the Evinrude Ficht, and I brought it into a shop, and I said, look, I need this thing to run. I need it to be reliable. Guy worked on it for a week. I called him up. He said, let me tell you something. This motor will never be reliable. There's so many problems with it. The pistons were loose. The rings were loose. It had so many electrical issues in it. He said, it's just, I can't even believe this thing runs sometime. The other thing, in order to get it to run, you had to index the spark plugs exactly perfect to face the injectors, so that when when the gas injected in there, that it sparked exactly perfect. And it was something crazy that I had to do. You had to write lines on it and get them lined up perfect with the injectors. It was crazy. It was a terrible motor. And I said, oh Lord, I said, well, there ain't nothing you could do to fix it. He said, no, your only option is really to buy a brand new motor. And dang bug, I don't want around here. But anyway, I said, well, wait, how much money do you have in it that you got in it already? He goes, I got about $450 worth of effort and labor into it. I said, well, shoot, you want to buy it for $450? Is it worth that in parts to you? He said, yeah, I'll take it for that. Even just come pick up your boat, I'll keep the motor. I was like, oh Lord. So I bring a boat in with a motor, and I leave without anything. So then I started looking. I went on a quest to find a motor for this boat, and I knew I wanted a 200 horsepower. It had a 225 on it, but the 200s and the 4-strokes are way heavier than the old 225 2-strokes. And I searched and searched. I really wanted a Yamaha, but a Suzuki made a great 4-stroke 200 at the time, and they were cheaper. The only problem is you could not find anyone who wanted to give me financing on it. I had bought a house, I had bought cars, but no one wanted to let me finance a motor. Finally, I found this dealership in Chalmette, Louisiana, Tim's Marine, and they said, yeah, we'll finance it. Well, I did a 15-year note on it because it was, at the time I paid close to $18,000 for this motor. It was expensive. I mean, with all the install, the labor and everything finalized, tax title, it was about $18,000. And I couldn't believe I was paying that much for it, but I had to get something on here, and I didn't want to go searching for secondhand. I wanted something new, so I got a good motor. This is probably the best motor Yamaha ever made, and that's the other thing. I got a Yamaha out of it. And this is probably the best motor. The 150, the 200, and I guess even a 225 back then, but at that year, around this a 2008 model, from that 2000, I think it was around 2002 to 2012, that was the best years Yamaha ever had, I think. I think it might even been 2000, might be 2006. 2006 is, I think earlier they had exhaust problems, issues, and it was just, it corrode, and they figured that out. But this is the best running motor they ever made. And I'm biased, you know, so a lot of people out there might be like, oh, bull crap, but, you know, whatever. Everybody has an opinion, and this is just mine, so take it for what it's worth. So anyway, this is the motor in the boat that I got, and I'm going to have it fixed up. It was a beaut out on the water yesterday, and a lot of people look at these boats, you know, because they're so unique. A big, tough aluminum boat like this, built like a tank. And the other story is I was going to sell it once and try and upgrade to another model. And I put it for sale on that same website for the same price, $10,000 as I had it. And without another motor, without the motor on it, I was going to buy a whole new rig with the down payment of the $10,000. And when I went to the boat show with my dad. And when we got to the boat show, we went to the people, they were there, this manufacturer, or the Hanko's manufacturer was there. And I asked them, I said, man, I'd like to get the same hull design, 20 foot, it's a 2072, but I'd like to get some stuff done. And they had a boat there, and I said, well, how much is it like this boat model here? And it was one totally bare bones. It was just a hull, no rigging, no fabrications of anything on it, you know, just a hull, no electronics, nothing, no motor. And the guy was like, 30 to 35, and I was like, what? Are you on drugs? Did I just hear that right? $1,000 for this? What? No. I was like, so I hurried up and ran home and took my boat. I had already had 3 cash offers, people wanting to come by and buy the boat in a matter of 2 or 3 hours. And I was like, oh Lord, I'll never be able to do this again. I better keep this boat. That's why it made me go have to get a motor for it. And I'm so thrilled that I actually have one of these, because they are very hard to come by. They don't come up for resale very often, and if you want one made, you can get some aluminum manufacturers to make you a good boat around here, but you're going to pay. You are going to pay a lot of money for these. So I consider myself very blessed to have such a boat, such a fine riding boat. I'm going to get it custom out a little bit with some aluminum fabrication done to it. And that's another thing. You can alter the designs. I'm actually thinking one day I might make this a center console, and it would be not too hard to do. I do like the dual console. It doesn't look as pretty. It's not as sporty. It's not a sport fisherman like, but I do like that dual console because I'm going to put 2 captain's chairs in there, and it kind of shields you off. So I got some ideas what I'm gonna do. So it sounds, I got some time, and I definitely have to have some time because it's gonna take a little bit of the cheddar to do this work. I figure I got some extra hours to be putting in at work to pay for this. And after I get it done though, I'll have the boat of my dreams, and I'll be able to go out and enjoy myself like I've always wanted to do. I've always enjoyed myself, but now it'll be a little bit more luxurious. So anyway, it's hot. You know, we got 3 days in a row scheduled next week of 104 real temp. That's the forecast. I don't think we've ever had 104 over here. I think that's going to be 3 records in a row of high temperatures ever in this area. And the heat index, I mean, I'm just sweating all up and down my back right now. I can't believe what's going on with the weather, but you know, this is the world we live in, and you know, weather's always changing. That's cycle. So anyway, it's gonna get hot again before, and I'm just gonna start doing work around here until it cools off a bit. I ain't gonna be able, I'm not going fishing. I'm not going riding to Hell's Kitchen with this boat out on the water and just be cooked. It's got to cool off a little bit before I do that. So anyway, y'all, thanks for sticking around and listening to my story. Thanks for watching this journey I had to get her back on the water and get her pretty. Maybe I'll be starting to show some other sides to my life, like the sportsman side. I might start doing some fishing and hunting videos, maybe some crabbing, shrimping and stuff like that. I might start doing that. I always kept that out of my homesteading lifestyle, basically because I wasn't doing much of it. But I mean, y'all seen a couple of the hunting stuff. But I might get into that sportsman stuff. That's my passion, and that's my. I love homesteading. It's a hobby. But it's also a lifestyle. But I think I want to get back into this and put this back into my life a little bit. Anyway, thanks for listening. Y'all take care, and I'll see y'all later.